Yeah.
It's a Belgian bank that's went bankrupt. They're insolvent. It's a Belgian bank. Okay, the reason this Belgian bank is so important is the chief financier of all municipal bonds in this country. So
Say
you
that
got,
again? Say that again?
it's Dexia, D-E-X-I-A. It's a Belgian bank that went belly up. And they're trying to bail that bank out. The bank is insolvent, but it owes a lot of debt. France and Belgium got to come up with money to pay off this debt. To make a long story, this is how it's happening.
And you said it's the chief what now?
It's the chief financier for municipal bonds. So like the city bonds,
around the world?
They are the chief, what you call?
Is that around the world?
No, for America.
Joining us, you just heard 6 minutes from our lengthy 35-minute in-depth interview last night on InfoWars Nightly News at PrisonPlanet.tv with Gerald
that you have here about MF Global. Is that the one? Well, MF Global is a large commodity exchange. Their chief service was a commodity broker to money to farmers. So I mean, if you're out in the field and you're growing corn, you're doing beef, I mean, you get ready to sell you got 1,000 head of cattle, and you want to send them to slaughter. Saves you when you buy a futures contract just to lock in your profit. I don't know what the future may hold, but if I buy this future contract, it'll allow me to sell my cattle at this particular price, irregardless if the price falls. So a lot of farmers had their money tied up in there. See, and they mad. They talking about where their money at. So, and the guy that headed MF Global, he's a former Goldman Sachs. He ain't going to jail.
You know he ain't going to jail.
See, I mean, he's former governor of New Jersey, senator of New Jersey, he got his firm. Listen, we always told you, this thing nothing but bloodline. The Illuminati run this mother, ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. Now these white folks go around here talking about all this smack, and they let all this, listen, ain't no banker went to jail yet. Not from Wall Street, and not from Goldman Sachs. And listen, some of the lawyers that they hire, they tell you, some of the lawyers that they hire, as soon as they walk in, their lawyers, it's $1 million retainer. Some of the best criminal lawyers in the country. So Pookie and Ray ain't got a hope of getting there, because they take $1 million. And that's when the clock begins to stop. And maybe what, $5–10 million. See, what OJ trial should have showed everybody, if you ain't got money, you shouldn't go to jail. You shouldn't, my father said, you shouldn't do nothing wrong if you ain't got no money. Because you can't joke, you can't hide no what? No lawyers to get you out of nothing, and you better know Yahweh. So you can begin to see what we're dealing with. You're dealing with something that's very maniacal, and it's slowly collapsing, and folks don't understand. Okay, let's think about,
Okay. Now we've learned more in just the last 14 hours or so since last night. Reuters is now reporting that the federal government regulator involved in overseeing this as long ago as a few weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, knew about all this and basically kept it quiet. But they went on to say, don't worry though, even though he's, quote, involved with John Corzine and involved with Goldman Sachs, who basically is using this as a front company, it's okay, his underlings can still carry out a good investigation. CFTC head didn't want to distract from MF Probe. The top U.S. futures regulator said he was not participating in the investigation of MF Global Holdings, the brokerage that filed for bankruptcy. So he would not become a distraction. And it goes on to say that Gensler has had close ties with MF Global's former chief executive, John Corzine, the former governor of New Jersey. Both men worked at Goldman Sachs Group. And then it goes on to say that of the $900 million, it was $600 million last night, $900 million of customers' money out of cash accounts, not just gold accounts and other accounts. They say regular accounts that was just taken, segregated accounts. I mean, they're making no bones about it. This is unprecedented to actually grab customer accounts.
Just that green.
Now what they're doing is they're admitting, we're going to go to Gerald Celente on this, joining us via video Skype from New York at the Trends Research Center headquarters. I mean, I'm almost speechless right now. This is so incredible. They are are now announcing that most of the money, 500 plus million of the 900 million, was given to J.P. Morgan, and there's now an investigation of how they claim those bank accounts were theirs, and those brokerage accounts were theirs. Gerald Celente, I know you learned about this last week, but they didn't even explain what was happening. It came into focus just in the last 48 hours. Now we're learning more by the minute. What is the latest on your 6+ figures that's disappeared into a black hole?
I just got off the phone with the broker, the account that they've taken it over to, the new brokerage firm. Zero. They know nothing. And of course, you know, a lot of people from NF Global have got, you know, MF'd by Corzine. They lost their jobs. So a few guys that were brought over are now with the new firm. And they can't tell me one thing. This is criminality, clear and simple. And you know, here's the rub, Alex. You get caught driving, you're like a fraction over that limit for alcohol. Boy, the goons put the handcuffs on you. Look how they rough up the kids in these Occupy Wall Street and Oakland scenes. But boy, oh boy, nobody touches the white shoe boys. And I want to say this, and I'm going to keep saying it. I am sick and tired of all these derogatory Italian shows that Sumner Redstone on Viacom puts out there, like The Sopranos and Jersey Shore and all these other ones debasing my ethnicity. Why don't they go after the people on Wall Street? Why are they hands off with them? Why do the biggest criminals walking the face of the earth that have robbed people's homes, foreclosed on them illegally, have taken segregated funds and put them in their pockets? How come there's nothing about this? Why are the white shoe boys so sacrosanct that no one could talk about them? Only the Italians. If the Italians were doing this, Sumner Redstone would be having a ball putting it on HBO. Why isn't Corzine in jail until we can straighten this out? Why do all of these groups? You look it up. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Citigroup is fined $285 million for doing dirty deals. Who was the CEO at the time? Charles Prince. A prince of a man. Oh no, he's not indicted. He's not brought into custody. He's not questioned. Only we get the screws when we just jaywalk.
Gerald Celente, stay there. Let's come back and get back into this and talk about this above the law situation, because they've got their operatives in every power position, regulatorily and in law enforcement. And I mean, we're in deep trouble. They're going to steal everything. We'll be right back. Everybody on Twitter is just out. This morning, a federal bankruptcy judge scheduled a Thursday hearing on the request of the trustee overseeing the bankruptcy of MF Global Holdings, Ltd's broker-dealer unit, and returned $520 million of cash to customers. So they're not meeting about the 520 or the 590. It's different articles that J.P. Morgan's got.
Okay.
And the hearing's set for later.
Okay. We got the lights back on. So that shows you the criminality of this thing. See, again, people don't understand that at the time that Messiah was walking around, the scribes and Pharisees could be put in what? They could be put in jail. So I mean, it's the same thing. Once you understand these things, you shouldn't be surprised at anything these folks do. That's one reason why we told you to start getting as much gold and silver that you'll plan and stay on it as long as you can, because you won't need it, because everybody wants to know where your assets are. And if they in some bank like anything, they can always what? Take them. See what I'm saying? He had gold in some of his accounts. It doesn't make no difference. If it ain't buried in your backyard, under your bed where your gun is at, those are the problems that you have. Now that I got that understood, I just wanted to go through that just briefly. I want you to go through this real quick here.
You want the S&A digest?
Yeah, I want you to continue the S&A digest.
The second bullet.
I want you to read the second bullet, the third bullet, second and third and fourth bullet. Then we're gonna jump down to where I want to go here. I want you to jump down on the middle of the next page. I told you, just read those 3 or 4 bullets.
Okay, here's the gist. Most of Europe's major banks are insolvent.
That's the only one that I made. Now, that's Europe. So listen, you got the 2 powers. You got the U.S. banks are insolvent. And if you don't believe it, I have it brought up before I get off the floor here. All you got to do is look up Bank of America. Bank of America, the second largest bank. Look at the stock is $5. It's straight down. The company is dead what? Dead broke solid. People walk around here like ain't nothing happening. And don't have no backup. If you, that's why I keep saying you better have some backup. When these things start falling, I don't know what folks gonna do. I just feel sorry for them because they hadn't paid attention. They had not made preparation as Noah had. See, the end is declared from the beginning. Let me say this: the system that we have, if you understand its DNA, the DNA of the system, then you understand the outcome. The outcome is what? It's death. Because it has no righteousness in it. How can you continue to raise your interest rates, usury, continue to raise interest rates, these crazy interest rates? At some point, if the interest, if all the money was to pay for the interest, what economy would you have? What could people what? What could you buy? Nothing. So that goes to show you that the parasitic system that we're in, they have no means of justifying, of being justice, and in terms of having a system that is justice and equality as far as Yahweh said to the children of Israel. There is no debt relief under this system. The debt keeps building up, the interest keeps building up, and at some point we have this huge amount of money that can't be paid. As a result, the whole system is going to collapse over. Okay, read this thing real quick here.
Most of Europe's major banks are insolvent, but only in the last week have they lost most of their assets to additional funding. Their key source of funding has been U.S. money market funds, but these funds are bailing out of Europe as quickly as they can.
Okay, so that means if you had the money market fund that you had your money in, you know about a third of that money was invested where? In Europe. Now they had to get their money back here because people said, wait a minute, I want my money. See, and that situation that got real crazy over there. Okay, go ahead.
The result is a run on Europe's banks.
Now they hadn't told you there's a run on European banks already. And read on.
This crisis is now past the point where the authorities can hope to control the situation.
That's the point. It's past that. It's past the point of control. So that's the reason why when people have cancer, they have these various things. There's a means of where it can be controlled. And if you get past that means, you're in trouble. You know, most diseases they have a point where it gets past, it gets real kind of crazy there. See what I'm saying? Unless you have taken steps initially, and especially for many chronic diseases, if you're not taking the various minerals or supplements and herbs, you're in trouble because there's no hope for what? Certain types of situations. Dementia, there's no cure for dementia in modern medicine, but there are herbs that can reverse the situation. Nerves can be reversed, can be repaired. They're just not finding that out. I'm just trying to show you that the system that you got, its DNA, is based on one thing, and that's a 5-letter word. It's what?
Money.
M-O-N-E-Y. And as long as it's based on that, and then on top of that, it's paper money. So that DNA of this structure, this system, is bound to collapse. Okay, read. Now this is what I want you to read.
We are now days, not weeks or months away from the first major bank failures.
Okay, now this was done about 2 weeks ago, and interest rates on all those foreign nations, Spain, Portugal, they're going through the roof. You can read this whole thing when you get home. I just wanted to show you that how I want you to go over to page 3. And tell you how truth is set up here. When you tell the truth, it's offensive to folks. Folks try to threaten you, talk bad about you, talk about you.